So first let me welcome everyone to North Providence, to Rhode Island's first closed landfill converted to solar. Some years back, we knew we had to do something with this landfill. We were exploring any way to utilize these 14 acres before you for the benefit of our town. We first thought about recreation. And by the way, this is a little difficult to digest, but at that time DEM told us we could have recreation on top of the landfill. I said, I don't know if I want my grandchildren to be doing it on top of the landfill. Then we thought about wind, until we went up to the top and we looked at the opposite side and we said, we don't think those neighbors are going to be too happy with us. Then came the idea of solar. So in 2020, we signed an agreement with Revity Energy. And I know the gentleman and Dr. Lindsay here today, Ralph Palumbo. Ralph. Great guy to work with, and thank you for helping us achieve our goal. We leased this 14 acres to provide a metering credit for our town, resulting in some significant savings for our taxpayers. By converting this non-revenue producing landfill into a revenue source, I can tell you we will be partnering in the Renewable Energy Standard Program. I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we have already benefited from the conversion of this landfill to solar. Today, we are here to witness the first signatures to offset the 100% electricity. And I can tell you this will definitely benefit both our town and the state of Rhode Island. Again, thank you very, very much for coming here this morning.
I know where I am. I don't want to overstep my bounds.
So again, let me introduce you to not only Dan McKee as the governor, but my wife Carol and I and his wife Sue are dearest friends. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your leadership. It's great to be here in North Providence today, and North Providence is part of the effort here in Rhode Island to be, to make us a national leader in clean energy innovation, and we're ready to build on that momentum. So that's exactly what today's legislation does. And a little side note, last week I was on a call with the President of the United States, with governors up the East Coast, talking about energy and the roles that states that are on the ocean are going to play on that energy relative to the offshore wind industry, but also the energy issues that we're dealing with today, which is our solar energy issues. When we sign this bill today, Rhode Island will be the first state in the country to commit to 100% renewable energy by 2033. This will be the most aggressive renewable energy standard among any U.S. state, and I was able to communicate that to President Biden in last week's call, our commitment to this effort in renewables and clean energy. This is something that, as the ocean state, we should all be very proud of and energized about. And I want to really thank the bill sponsors, our Senate President Ruggiero, Representative Deborah Ruggiero, who are bill sponsors. Please give them a round of applause. their work and the work of the General Assembly and the budget that I signed on Monday is reflective of this commitment that we have. I also want to recognize Pat Crowley and his team at the AFL-CIO, being strong advocates. Thank you, Pat. And the incredible amount of advocates who did the hard work to get this bill over the finish line. So today is your day. Thank you. Taking action on clean energy is not just the right thing to do for the environment, but it's also the right thing to do for our economy. And we're committed to create a strong economy and raise people's incomes in the state of Rhode Island. And at the same time, as I mentioned, I think that we're here seeing what I meant when at the State of the State address, I said they intersect. At this moment in time, they're intersecting in a way that places Rhode Island in a place that we've never been before, and this is what's helping create this momentum that we have in the state of Rhode Island. We're committed to making investments to improve our air and water quality and expand access to affordable clean energy solutions. Our budget reflects that. The budget that we worked together with the Senate President and the Speaker and the House Finance and the Senate Finance and all the members of the General Assembly reflects just that. Last year I signed the Act on Climate. And this year we passed a budget that includes strong climate action from our administration and the General Assembly. I'll give you a couple examples. $70 million to improve our blue economy. $35 million to build a wind turbine staging area at South Key in East Providence. $23 million to create electric heat pump incentive programs. $23 million to expand our network of electric vehicle charging stations. It's a combination not only of the federal dollars, but the way that the budget was managed, and the surplus that we've been able to enjoy in a way where we're investing in Rhode Island's future. I also want to look forward to signing our administration's bill to increase Rhode Island's offshore wind procurement between 600 and 1,000 megawatts. This is a big deal for Rhode Island. Chris, thank you for that leadership coming from your office, along with Secretary Lucci. The bottom line is this. We have momentum on clean energy. There is an opportunity ahead of us like we've never seen before. We're talking, Senator Whitehouse is talking in Congress, they're talking about actually supporting offshore wind and renewables in the same way that they've supported fossil fuels for years, where states are getting, incentives to get involved with the offshore wind. Rhode Island is positioned, and that's why it is a big deal for Rhode Island. The bottom line is we have momentum on clean energy. This is an opportunity ahead of us. We are ready to make the most of it and create good paying clean energy jobs in the process. Now we just have to execute, and that's our job as the administration, to take the information that we have received, take the bills that have been passed, and to make sure that we execute first. So that make sure that we are getting full advantage of that. And our 2030 plan reflects that, which the Lieutenant Governor and I worked on, and that this is central to a long-term strategy that is written in the Rhode Island 2030 plan. With that, I'd like to introduce one of North Providence's own here, right? Senator President Ruggiero, and I thank him publicly again for his leadership on these issues, as well as multiple areas that we've been able to work through and come to a very, very good spot because of you, Senate President. So thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much, Governor, and I want to thank everyone for taking the time from their busy schedule to be here today. I think it's an absolute great crowd on a great day, and I want to thank the mayor for hosting us here. This is what we're trying to do. This is one of the most phenomenal sites in the state of Rhode Island, to repurpose a piece of property like this that was formerly a landfill, and to put the solar farm up here that will provide power to the state of Rhode Island, to the people of Rhode Island. Is an absolute great effort. I want to thank him for hosting us here. I want to thank him for his commitment to renewable energy. I want to thank my colleagues, and I have one of my members here, Senator Miller. He was quick to point out that this was his legislation at one time, and I was quick to point out that the leadership has its privileges. So I want to thank him because he has been on the forefront of environmental issues, along with Senator Dawn Moyer, who is the chair of our Environmental and Agriculture Committee. She has been great on this issue. She was really helpful. I know some people are disappointed that initially the legislation that we had submitted last year that the Senate had passed had 2030 in the program. However, I felt it was tremendously ambitious, not really unachievable, but I thought that we have to get realistic. But I think we have a great effort to move forward and on renewable energy in the state of Rhode Island, as the governor intimated. So I am really pleased as to what's going on. And I know all you remember when Rhode Island was in the forefront of the Industrial Revolution, and what we did at that time, what the state of Rhode Island did, what Samuel Slater did, obviously, he used hydropower to power businesses that were located in the northern Rhode Island area. And we were the first in the country to have the Industrial Revolution. And all the other states took notice of that and replicated what we did. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for their efforts. This is absolutely a great program. And as the governor said, we have to do more renewables in the state. I think we can do it. I think we can provide tax relief really for those individuals in the state of Rhode Island. And obviously, a clean environment is what we want. It's going to produce many construction jobs, but it also will produce great paying jobs, and certainly we have the environmental concerns in mind whenever we do something like this. So I want to thank the Speaker of the House for his participation. I want to thank Deborah Giro, Representative Deborah Giro, for sponsoring the bill in the House and for ushering it through over there. And I think some good things are coming forward in the state of Rhode Island as it relates to our environmental climate. Look, climate is it's already here. So we have to do what we can to combat that and move forward. It gives me great pleasure right now to introduce Senator Deborah Giro. I want to thank her for her efforts and for her help on the House side. And we're going to move forward. So thank you all very much for being here today. Deb.
Thank you, Senate President, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Mayor, and our new Commerce Secretary, Liz Tanner. Welcome. And thank you to all of you. We did it. We did it. Rhode Island is first in the nation, 100% renewable by 2033. And I have to tell you, in my 14 years as a legislator, one thing I've learned a lot, no one does anything alone. It is a team sport. So I want to thank the folks who have been with me for so many years. I look at Chris Kearns from OER. It all began in 2010 when I chaired the Small Business Renewable Energy Task Force. Kai Salem from Green Consumers. I also see Amy Moses here, Hank Webster from Acadia. I hope I didn't miss anyone, but, and I'll tell you who else, Pat Crowley from the AFL-CIO. The reason is because this is all about business, it's about labor and environmental advocates working together. Talk about consensus building. That's how we get it done. So thank you, Pat. And Rhode Island is at the very end of the energy pipeline. So the only two ways we can reduce our electricity costs are energy efficiency, because no one's putting a gas-powered plant in their district, and the second is renewables. So this bill today gets us off our dependency on fossil fuels. It does not mean that your house is going to be 100% renewable with a wind farm or a solar panel, but it does mean that we're going to modernize our electric grid. We're going to make sure the electric suppliers and distributors put a percentage of renewables into the electricity. So at the end of the day, we have to look at what is behind us in Rhode Island, and it's the ocean. You'll see the procurement of many, many megawatts of wind power, because we see the volatility. of long-range costs of fossil fuels with natural gas. We cannot control that. The only thing we can control, no one has power over the sun or the wind, and that's our future. Offshore wind will help us get to 100% renewable energy by 2033. And I have to say, I am so honored. This will be my very last legislative act in my 14-year career as a state rep. And it's just so fitting that it's the governor signing our renewable energy standard. Because at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, as parents, as leaders of this great state, and as community, what is the environmental legacy and economic legacy we want to leave to our children and children's children that will follow us? This bill will provide good paying jobs and great environmental policy. Could not have done it without all of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Governor, with the stroke of a pen, we're going to make history. Our dear friend Pat Crowley, I did not see you in the lineup. But this man, he rocks.
Thank you, Representative Ruggiero. Governor McKee, Lieutenant Governor Matos, Senate President Ruggiero, Rep. Ruggiero, Mr. Mayor, Madam Secretary, on behalf of the Climate Jobs Rhode Island Coalition, which is a group of over 36 environmental and labor organizations, co-chaired by myself and the amazing Priscilla De La Cruz from the Rhode Island Audubon Society. On behalf of the entire coalition and really the entire state, thank you. This is a big deal. This is an incredible day for Rhode Island. For being the first state in the nation to get to a 100% renewable energy standard is something that we can talk about across the entire country, that Rhode Island is leading the way. And not just leading the way in terms of passing legislation, but showing how to do it, involving all of the stakeholders, making sure that the frontline communities that are directly impacted by the ravages of climate change have a seat at the table and a voice in the process. And for that reason, today is an important day. But it's not just about today. I know deep down in my heart that it's going to be years from now, maybe decades from now, that our children and our grandchildren are going to look back at this day and say, you know what? That's when Rhode Island showed the rest of the country how to get this done. So, Governor and everyone else, thank you very much, and let's sign these bills.
Any advocates who would like to be in the photo, please feel free to come behind the governor.
This is great. It's only fitting that it's very sunny today. Side here. Make sure that every pen gets a little bit of ink on it. Okay, where's that one? Okay. That's the house side? Yes, congratulations. Hold on to that, Rep. With pride, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Governor.
Okay. One here. And the work begins.
That's right.
But I think we're positioned very well to make really good things happen. Mr. President?
Thank you, Governor.
I'm not sure that I'd give him one of these.
I'll add it to the collection.
Add it to the collection, but this is a good one to remember. Congratulations to everybody involved.
Thank you.
I think I got 3 more. Do we want to give them out 3 more? Pat needs 1. Pat, thank you for your work there. Mayor, thank you, Mayor. That sounds good.
Hi, Salem.
Hi, Salem.
Hi,
Yes,
Sarah.
right.
Wonderful.
Yes,
That's
good work,
great.
guys. Thank
Okay.
you all.
Good? History. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I want this picture for my office. Make sure I get one of these pictures for my